Chapter 196, Lion King versus the Four Fiends of the Heaven Commanders, Vega. When you think about it, having all the demon lords gather in one place to fight the enemy together just isn't practical. Such a plan would ignore the people who depend on their demon lords for protection. It might be a solid strategy if the only goal was winning the Great War, but if things went wrong, it could lead to the worst case scenario, massive civilian casualties. If our only objective was to defeat Velda, this approach might even be ideal. But the problem is the four fiends of the Heaven Commanders, especially the one called Vega. The octogram can't simply ignore them. In fact, even for the octogram, dealing with them might be more difficult than expected. Sure, if all of us teamed up, we could take down Vega quickly, but while we're off fighting, the territories we govern could be left vulnerable and possibly destroyed. That's why Shao San, the Demon Lords, wouldn't agree to such a strategy. And honestly, there's no guarantee we'd win even if we did stay together. Let's say we defeated all of Velda's commanders and then used the gate to travel to the various places under attack, one by one. By the time we reach the lost area, it might already be wiped out. Our biggest miscalculation was underestimating the enemy's forces. Shell's predictions were based on the older versions of Vega and Pagali before they absorbed and mastered Seraphim powers, but Vega's power has already far surpassed what Shell had estimated. If he keeps rampaging like this, he might break through even further limits. Also, since we don't know how many Seraphim there are, it's incredibly dangerous not to be able to gauge their true combat power. A single Seraphim is at least as powerful as an awakened Demon Lord. I expected there to be around 10 Seraphim at most, and for now, they don't seem like a major threat. My Guardian Lords should be able to handle them. The real concern is the four fiends of the Heaven Commanders. As the name suggests, there are probably four of them. No reason to call them four fiends if there were more. So far, we've confirmed Vega and Kagali. Dinah also seems to be one of them. The last one, I suspect, it's Daggerwell, another member of the Octogram, like Ruminas. They're roughly equal in status, though only because Ruminas gained an ultimate skill. Daggerwell's raw physical power is on another level entirely, and we've never been able to fully grasp its scales. In terms of brute strength, Daggerwell would easily overpower Ruminas. Based on Vega's current strength, I doubt Ruminas would be able to defeat Daggerwell. That's why I sent Sean and Adalman, two of my guardian lords, to deal with him, but I still have a bad feeling. I don't think forcing me to fight Milim is just to buy time. I'm relieved that Benimaru and Zijun are staying in Tempest, but I can't afford to let my guard down. If things go south, I need to be ready to act immediately. Still, a sense of unease lingers in the back of my mind. Another thing bothering me is Leon's confidence. I'm certain that Kagali is headed to confront him. They have history, and I'm sure Kagali bears a grudge. But how strong is Kagali now? Vega's strength has surpassed even Rumina's. Compared to Leon, well, depending on how the fight plays out, Leon might lose to Vega too. That's just how abnormally strong Vega has become. Assuming Kagali is now on the same level as Vega, Leon's chances of winning start to look doubtful. We should probably start planning some countermeasures before he even asks for help. After teleporting, I hovered into the sky to observe the battle below. Vega is fighting Carrion, and it's clear Vega has the upper hand. We'll need to seriously update our analysis of Vega and Kagali. They're far stronger than we thought. As expected, seeing a fight in person is completely different from watching it through a monitor. Just to be safe, I contacted Guy via telepathy. I told him everything about the current situation. From here on, it's up to him how he responds. I trust that he'll act accordingly. The time for Chloe and Guy's meeting is fast approaching. For now, all I can do is carry out what's within my power. With all preparations complete, I began my descent, calm and focused. It's unsettling to leave everything in the hands of others, but I have to trust my subordinates. Even Shell confirmed, given the current situation, this is the best possible strategy. There's nothing more I can do, so I'll handle my task, eliminating the one manipulating Milim. When Rimuru arrived in the sky and looked down, Karyan was in the middle of a losing battle. Gwahahaha, is that all the mighty Lion King's got? Vega roared with laughter. You're so weak. I'm speechless. You can't even compare to me, the true Beast King. Vega, how about it? If you get on your knees and beg, I might let you serve under me. Ha, don't insult me, Karyan snapped. My loyalty belongs to Milim Sama. I'll never lower my head to become your lucky. Such arrogance, Vega sneered. Just like Milim, you're nothing but a fangless lapdog. Still, if you'd served me, I might have spared you. Too bad, you'll only realize your stupidity in the next life. Vega raised his hand. A dense aura bullet, 50 centimeters wide, formed instantly. Karyan's instinct, honed to a near supernatural level, screamed danger. If that hit him, it would be fatal. He tried to dodge, but Vega didn't let up. More aura bullets flew at him in rapid succession. Damn it! Carrion raised an aura shield, channeling all his magic power into it. He tilted it at an angle to deflect the incoming blasts, using everything he'd learned from Milim's brutal training. Training that never stopped, no matter how much he begged her to ease up. She only laughed and pushed him harder. And now it was saving his life. Though his magic was nearly drained, he survived. The blasts ravaged the land, reshaping the terrain, but he endured. Hidden in the smoke and debris, he dropped into a crater and held his breath. What the hell is that power? If it hadn't been Milim training me, I'd be dead right now. He remembered his training partner always yelling warnings. Wait, Sue, you'll die, Sue. That's too much, Sue. That guy never left his side, even when he claimed he was at his limit. Damn, I'm not going down here. He'd laugh at me if I gave up now. Carrion grinned. Milim had told him the most important thing is don't die. Now he understood what she meant. When facing an overwhelmingly stronger enemy, surviving comes first. Analyze, endure, and then counterattack. Luckily, his subordinates had already evacuated under his aide's orders. The angels avoided the area too, fearing the battle. Vega hadn't commanded them at all. Overconfident in his own strength, he thought he didn't need support. I might have a chance to win. I just need to survive and wait for my moment. Carrion wouldn't give up. His role was to draw out Vega's strength and reveal his abilities, giving Milim an opening to strike. He had to buy time. That was his mission. You coward, hiding in a hole. What kind of Lion King are you? Rat King suits you better. Shut up, Carrion shouted back. It's called strategy, not that a brute like you would understand. He used the echo of his voice to throw Vega off, masking his location. Vega fired wildly at empty spots. These weren't just aura bullets anymore. They were more refined and powerful. The landscape was being completely obliterated. If one hit Carrion, he'd be finished. His grip on the Brachiocereal lance tightened. He couldn't lose focus now. It might be time to use his trump card, Mystification. Activating it would instantly heal all his wounds and fully restore his energy, dramatically boosting his power. He'd also gained a new unique skill during Milim's training, Lionheart. It strengthened him against stronger enemies and gave his attacks piercing power. Combined with Mystification, it evolved into his original skill, Dragon Body, an unbreakable body and an indomitable spirit. But the transformation only lasts 10 minutes, a terrifyingly powerful ability, but once those 10 minutes are up, he'll be completely drained, and the skill ends. Without Lionheart's advantage against stronger foes, even with mystification, he might not be able to keep up. And worse, Vega had shown signs of super regeneration. Can I even win? Unless I find his weakness, I can't use my trump card, but I can't go down without fighting back. I'll show you what despair really looks like. Vega sneered. I haven't even used any of my abilities yet, but you know what? I'll demonstrate. He held his hand forward, and the corpses on the battlefield began to stir. They twisted and fused into grotesque, decaying beasts with raptor wings and headless humanoid bodies. Despite their lack of heads, they reacted with unnatural precision. They could sense magic. Vega had activated his ultimate skill, Evil Dragon Lord, Azi Dahaka. Gwahahaha. Behold, my lovely pets, what a waste to unleash them on trash like you. Enjoy. 4 evil dragon beasts were born. Though malformed, their combat strength was immense. They tore through the angels with ease. Carrion's instincts screamed, these monsters might be as strong as Clayman, a former demon lord. Worse, Vega hadn't even weakened from summoning them. Could he make more? Fortunately, his aid had kept casualties low, so only 4 had formed. I can't let these things run wild. My subordinates must not see this horror. His stomach turned at their repulsiveness. Rage bubbled in his chest. Go, smoke out the rot. The beasts moved swiftly, smoke scattering from their movements. Carrion clicked his tongue. No more waiting. He gathered his magic and unleashed a beast roar. A cannon of magical energy at one charging beast. It burned the monster to ash. The blast kept going, aimed right at Vega. A sneak attack from his blind spot. Perfect. But the distance was too far. The beam lost strength after 300 meters. Had it been 200, it might have done real damage. Even so, it left a burn mark. Vega laughed it off, but Carrion knew he'd felt it. Huh, don't act tough. If it hurts, just cry already. Carrion charged forward, blasting a second beast roar at another dragon beast and finishing it with his lance. 2 down, the last 2 advanced from opposite sides, forming a triangle with Carrion at the tip and Vega at the base. Perfect line of fire. Eureka! He condensed all his remaining magic and channeled it into the Byakuyo Shiryu lance. Oh, diffusion roar. The beam sla- the beam split into 9 lances of light, converging 3 on each target. A guaranteed kill shot. The fusion of power and angle made it deadlier than a standard beast roar. 2 beasts disintegrated. Vega blocked the rest, but not without cost. Both his arms were blown off. His body was charred and riddled with holes. Any normal beings would have died. Carrion readied one last beast roar to finish it, but then the supposedly dead beast struck him from behind. It had regenerated. And Vega laughed. Crafty? No. Strategic. I used myself as bait to lure you out. How's that for a strategy? Carrion's heart sank. Vega's wounds regenerated instantly. He had never been in real danger. Damn it, he tricked me. Before Carrion could react, Vega fired a massive magic bullet, uncaring that one of his own monsters was pinning Carrion down. Carrion managed to dodge enough to avoid a fatal hit, but lost the entire left side of his body. He lived, barely, thanks to his beastman vitality. Is this the end? Only one option left. He had to bet everything on his trump card. If he used a dragon body, all wounds would heal. His magic would be restored. But if he couldn't win in 10 minutes, it was over. Still, if he did nothing, he'd die anyway. Carrion made his decision. Don't count me out yet. I'll show you what it means to fight like a true warrior. Vega looked down at him with disdain, but Carrion's rage gave him strength, just enough to move. As he activated his ability. Wait, Sue. Hero's supposed to arrive late. After all, Sue. End of chapter 196. Chapter 197, Demons versus Angels. As I watched the battle between Milim and the silver-haired angel from above, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. That angel is definitely using the ultimate skill Justice King Michael's ability, Castle Guard. She's deliberately drawing Milim's attacks to cause collateral damage, clearly confident she won't be harmed. That's a huge problem, but even so, the destruction cost looks far less than what you'd expect from Milim. Wait a minute. If Milim were using her full power, wouldn't this entire place be nothing but rubble by now? Affirmative. If Milim Navo were unleashing true full power attacks, the castle would have been reduced to ashes instantly. Possible explanations. The damage is being reduced by Castle Guard's effects. Milim Nava still retains her sanity and is deliberately holding back. That makes sense. Milim's aura radiates rage strong enough to shake the very air, but she hasn't used any of her truly devastating moves yet. Aside from the castle tower being destroyed at the beginning, there hasn't been much large-scale damage. That likely means she's still in control of herself, which would also explain why Justice King Michael's domination abilities haven't activated. If Milim had truly lost herself to anger, she would have been controlled immediately. Diablo, yes, I am here. Responding to my call, Diablo appeared behind me. Kneeling behind him were the three remaining demon lords under my command. Diablo, take your team and eliminate the four angels. After that, defeat Vega. I did send Gupta, but honestly, I'm a bit worried about him going alone. Also, one of you stay with me for support. Understood. We will deal with them quickly, then come to your aid, Rimuru-sama. Diablo answered on behalf of the group, and the others, Testarossa, Ultima, and Carrera, nodded in agreement. The enemy angels might be as strong as awakened demon lords, but my demon team are seasoned combat elites. I'm confident they can handle it. Their numbers match, and Diablo is with them. They'll be fine. All right, I'm counting on you. With that, I took off toward Milim. Behind me, I could hear the group start bickering over who would get the honor of staying behind as my support. Luckily, I didn't stick around to witness it. Whoever won the argument didn't really matter. Eventually, one of them emerged victorious from their peaceful discussion. Diablo, with his ever gentle smile, turned and stared down the others. A few clicks of the tongue and annoyed meters followed, but no one voiced any objections. Kufufufu. As expected, everything is going smoothly. Thanks to your wisdom, Diablo said, clearly pleased. Then, without much interest, he shifted his gaze toward the four approaching angels. They were part of Velda's elite known as the Apostle of the End. Specifically, these were four of the feared executioners or seven angels of crucifixion, a squad specializing in close quarters combat. This time, they were dispatched under direct orders from Lucia. Thanks to Castle Guard, Lucia herself is safe. These angels were deployed as insurance, and more importantly, as her swords. Because Justice King Michael doesn't have strong direct attack capabilities, the executioners act as Lucia's hands and weapons on the battlefield. Now infused with Michael's will, merged with Lucia's ego, they were selected to fulfill that role. Let's break them down. Turo Neoto, a hulking man wielding a massive warhammer charged with lightning. Arya, a small-framed girl who swings a great axe engulfed in flames. Oruka, a slim, elegant woman carrying a water-imbued trident. Priscilla, average in build, but with a strikingly large bust wielding the nine-tail, a wind-based weapon. Despite her delicate features, her half-lidded eyes and androgynous air make her appearance memorable. Even with Diablo and the others suddenly appearing before them, the four angels remained calm. Their composure wasn't arrogance, it was the quiet confidence of beings who had reached the pinnacle of angelic power. Seraphim, demons, and angels stood still, measuring each other with silent intensity. Let's not waste time. We'll end this quickly, Diablo declared. Testarossa, Ultima, and Carrera voiced their agreement. End it quickly? Don't make me laugh, you pathetic demons. One of the angels sneered. Demons like you, whose evolution paths are limited, could never hope to reach us, Seraphim, the highest class of angels. We, who have been granted the power of Seraphim by Lord Velda, are the strongest beings, far superior to your mass-produced army. Toro Naoto declared arrogantly. You don't even compare. Even if you've evolved to Demon Lord class, your transformations are still incomplete. Don't let that get to your heads just because you went from archdemons to demon lords. Diablo raised an eyebrow, sensing something off. So, Velda doesn't know we've ascended to Devil Lords. That's ridiculous. Rimuru-sama would have seen through us instantly. He smirked inwardly. Seems like Velda's too confident to bother sharing intel. The arrogance of the strong, how foolish. Unlike him, Rimuru-sama ensures we're all connected through a well-established information network, as expected of our lord. Kufufufu. Pleased with this realization, Diablo's expression softened, an unsettling contrast as he looked kindly upon their soon-to-be victims. Hey, Diablo, why do you look so happy? That guy just insulted us, Ultima asked, confused. Kufufufu, that's precisely why. Ultima, even in their foolish boasts, we're reminded of how superior our master is. Eh? Ultima blinked. Ufufufu. I see, you've noticed it too, Diablo. Testarossa added, smiling knowingly. Of course, Testarossa, I'll let you handle these fools. If I stepped in, I'd probably make them suffer too much. You, on the other hand, can purge them cleanly. Oh my, how considerate of you. Wait a second, what are you two talking about? Ultima interrupted, still lost. Testarossa turned to her with a patient smile. He means he's giving us his share of the fight. She then kindly explained how their master, the great demon lord Rimuru, places immense trust in his subordinates. Ultima's eyes sparkled. So that's it? You're saying Rimuru-sama is way classier than them? Testarossa nodded, satisfied. Ultima's interpretation was a little off, but close enough. Then came the inevitable reaction from the enemy. You arrogant demons dare look down on us. The highest ranking angels? Purge us without pain? Don't make me laugh. Arya screamed furiously. She drew her enormous battle axe, far too large for her petite frame, and took a battle stance, eyes blazing and hair standing on end. Calm down, Arya. It's just provocation. Uruka said, stepping in. Her trident surged with aqua-colored energy, reflecting the fury she kept just barely in check. Oh dear, looks like some naughty children need big sister's discipline, Priscilla said with a sweet yet dangerous smile. The demon's mocking words had clearly struck a nerve. Seeing his comrades riled up, Toronayato stepped forward, his body crackling with lightning. Hold on, I just had the best idea. You want to hear it, right? It was Carrera who spoke, completely ignoring the hostile atmosphere. To be honest, I'm not interested in fighting you lot. There's a fool named Vega causing trouble elsewhere. I've got a score to settle with him, so I'm going to pass on you guys. She said it as though it were already agreed upon. Are you sure, Carrera? Testarossa asked. So we get to each? Ultima exclaimed excitedly. In contrast to their calm exchange, the angels exploded with rage. You dare underestimate us, you demon filth. I'll kill you all. Very well, I'll carve the truth into your bodies. Oh my, now you've got Big Sister all fired up. The executioners, members of the fearsome apostles of the end, were incensed. As elite warriors, even under Yuki's direct command in the past, they had never imagined being looked down upon. Now strengthened by the power of the Seraphim and armed with ultimate skills like Master Weapon, they believed no one could stand against them. We will bring you death. That is Valdesama's will. With Toronayota's battle cry, the angels launched forward as one. Weapons ready, they charged. The demons, on the other hand, ooh, I'll take the axe and the spear. Ultima grinned. Is that so? I'm fine with whoever. Testarossa replied casually. To them, choosing opponents was like picking toys. Their carefree attitude only further enraged the angels, but this kind of nonchalance was typical for the demons. Kufufufu, if you girls run into trouble to call for help, we won't abandon you, Diablo said with a teasing smile. Like we'd need that, Ultima huffed. One day, Diablo will definitely have to settle this between us, Testarossa said with an amused glance. With that, Diablo departed without another word. His destination? Rimuru. Carrera followed suit. All right, I'm off too. You girls can handle these guys, right? Of course, said Testarossa. Yep, better hurry or Gupta might steal the show. Ultima chirped. Yeah, that guy's surprisingly capable. Can't let my guard down. Carrera muttered with a frown. Her real reason for skipping this fight? She couldn't forgive Vega for interrupting her duel. Gupta possibly beating Vega before she got her revenge was unthinkable. With that, Carrera left unconcerned about her comrades' battles. As rulers among demons, they had no doubt of victory. Testarossa versus Toroneato and Priscilla, Ultima versus Aria and Oruka. The two battles began, and almost immediately they ended. Toroneato, burning with rage, launched his most powerful attack, Lightning Bomber. But the moment it landed, it was already within the realm of Testarossa's ultimate skill, Hell King Belial. A death blade appeared in her hand. In the blink of an eye, she cleaved Toroneoto in two. The energy from his hammer's attack, now a blazing mass of plasma, was caught in her left hand. Calmly, she infused it with her own magic and tossed it back. You can have this back. The energy exploded. Light, pressure, destruction. Toroneoto vanished, not even ashes left behind. Priscilla, stunned and out of sync, missed her chance to attack. Her body trembled as she watched her comrade disintegrate. What? This can't be happening. Though their energy levels were similar, the skill gap was staggering. 2-on-1 with the evolved Seraphim powers should have been more than enough. Yet here they were, outclassed and crushed instantly. Ara, what's wrong? Come at me, I'll be gentle, Testarossa said, stepping forward with a serene smile. Don't come closer. I'm sorry, Big Sis apologizes. Weren't you the one talking about punishing naughty kids? I take it back. I was being cocky. Please. Priscilla collapsed, sobbing, her will to fight shattered. Testarossa sighed. This makes it seems like I'm bullying you, but I did promise to make this painless. You can relax. Luckily for Priscilla, Testarossa was in a good mood. Please forgive me. I'll give you anything. Just spare my life. Very well. I'll take your angel's powers instead. I'll let you live for now. Testarossa reached out and stole Priscilla's power. Surprisingly, it included the ultimate skill master weapon, which merged with her own, Hell King Belial, forming the Death Whip, a perfect fit for her queenly presence. With that, Testarossa turned away. Priscilla, now powerless, fled in shame. Unfortunately, her path led her straight to Vega, who, mid-battle, devoured her without even realizing she was an ally. Her story ended there. Ultima sighed. Ultima, ever playful, swatted aside Aria's flaming great axe with one hand, then pierced her with a single strike. Bloody bite. Aria died instantly. Uruka, stand, didn't even see Ultima vanished. And then she heard from behind. Pain bloomed in her chest. Her last thought, when did she? She died without understanding what happened. No conversation, no theatrics. Ultima's fight ended even faster than Testarossa's. Ironically, she fulfilled Diablo's wish to dispatch them swiftly and painlessly. Moments later, Ultima commented, weren't those guys kinda weak, considering their energy levels? True, but Rimuru-sama predicted this. Testarossa said, power alone means little. We learned that ourselves. Yeah, no matter how strong they are, they don't have our experience. That's the real difference. Shao had predicted this. Angels only begin to grow once they regain their ego, but developing their real strength takes time. And time was something demons had in abundance. Even if angels evolved, the experience gap remained vast. A human soul, even housed in a seraphim, couldn't fully tap into that power. If only they'd been saints, battle hardened and seasoned, then maybe things would have been different. But in the end, the battle was over. Testarossa and Ultima now returned their attention to the next target, Vega. End of chapter 197. Chapter 198, Gobta and Carrion versus Vega, one of the four heavenly commanders. I'm gonna die, Sue. The last one was seriously dangerous, Sue. Gobta was sprinting and shouting, desperately dodging a barrage of magical attacks. Carrion, who had just narrowly avoided getting blasted himself, sighed deeply and shot a sideways glance at him. He's definitely doing this on purpose, Karian thought, watching Gobta weave through deadly magic bullets with ridiculous timing, dodging them at the very last moment every time. Sure, if Gobta was even half a second late, he'd be toast. But as long as he didn't get hit, it didn't matter. Then came a voice in Karian's head. Karian, son, half step to the right, then a little hop. Now, Sue. Without hesitation, Karyan followed. Gupta's telepathic instructions, ever since their joint training under Milim, this kind of thing had become second nature to him. The moment he moved, magic bullets pelted the ground where he had just been. The earth exploded in a burst of heat and debris. If he'd stayed still, he would have taken the full brunt of it. Yeah, no doubt about it. This guy's a genius. Carrion couldn't even see the aura bullets that were flying at him. They were faster than sound. The magic bullets Vega was launching weren't just fast. They were charged with power and launched in rapid succession. Dodging them by sight was nearly impossible. Giving instructions to someone else to dodge them, even harder. Using normal speech would have been useless. The attack would hit before you could even finish a sentence. That's why they were communicating via telepathy. Still, how fast did Gobta have to think to not only see the attack, but analyze it, predict where it would land, and relay instructions all in the blink of an eye? It was beyond incredible. Even with Guardian's own instincts, he could barely react in time, and Gobta was directing both of them. Then Karian remembered that Gupta had said when he arrived on the battlefield earlier. Karian-san, if you keep going like this, it's gonna end badly, Sue. Try using mystification, but only for a second. Then cancel it right after, Sue. Karian had been confused. Huh? What are you even talking about? It's easy, Sue. Just trigger your transformation, then immediately tell yourself to stop it, Sue. He didn't get the logic, but he trusted Gupta, so he tried it. He activated his transformation, mystification, and cancelled it almost instantly. What happened next defied belief. His physical ability surged, his mangled body fully regenerated. His magic energy rapidly refilled, pulling in ambient mana from the air. He hadn't even fully transformed, and yet he got all the benefits, healing and energy restoration, without the drawbacks. What the hell is this? Karian was stunned. He didn't fully understand how it worked, but it clearly did, and somehow Gobta had figured it out. Wow, amazing, Sue. You nailed it on the first try, Karyan-san. I had a full potion ready just in case, but potions can't restore energy the same way, Sue. Cool, right? I taught the same trick to Gabil-san too. I'm super proud, Sue. Gobta beamed as if he just solved the puzzle. Apparently, anyone with the transformation type skill could trick the system, activate the transformation, cancel it immediately, and trigger only the recovery effect. Carrion wanted to scream, how do you know this when you don't even have a transformation ability? But now wasn't the time. He'd have to shelve that question for later. Right now, the enemy in front of them, Vega, needed to be dealt with. That guy's seriously something else. Carrion kept dodging Vega's magic bullets with Copta's help, thinking how absurdly powerful their opponent was. Meanwhile, Vega was boiling with frustration. A dumb hobgoblin had stepped into the battle and was mocking him. Vega knew Gopta was weak. He barely qualified as A rank, with pitiful magic power. One hit should have been enough to kill him. Yet his attacks kept missing every single time. What the hell is going on? This is ridiculous. Vega, now seething, began hurling aura bullets at the ground in the blind rage. He stopped bothering to refine them. He just wanted to crush something, anything. The aura bullets exploded on impact, launching dirt and sand onto the sky. Humph, with this, they've lost sight of me. You worthless trash. Hidden behind the rising dust, Vega began shaping a massive magic bullet. Confident his enemies were blinded, he launched the powerful attack. The bullet tore through the cloud of dust, but just before it could strike, Vega sensed their presence vanish. What? His confusion was met with pain. A short sword stabbed into his side. Whoa, he's tough, Sue. My hand went numb when I stabbed him, Sue. The audacious little goblin, Gobta, had pinpointed where Vega was, concentrating his magic, even through the dust, and struck to stop it. Rather than attacking recklessly, Gobta had masked his presence, slipping silently through the dirt and debris until he was right in Vega's blind spot. You there, you lowly goblin! Vega roared in fury, but Gobta didn't flinch. Hey now, get it right, Sue. I'm a hobgoblin, Sue. His cheaper correction only made Vega angrier, exactly what Gobta intended. Enraged and distracted, Vega failed to notice the approaching presence, Carrion, whose stealthy movement had gone unnoticed amidst the chaos. Beast roar! Carrion shouted. The attack struck Vega squarely in the back before he could react. It was no mere glancing blow. Carrion's magic cannon tore away half of Vega's body. Yet even that wasn't enough to bring him down. Vega's body instantly began to regenerate. His auto-recovery ability kicked in, rebuilding the damage like it was nothing. But what truly infuriated Vega wasn't the damage, it was the humiliation. A mere hobgoblin had toyed with him. Damn you, I won't forgive this, you lowly insect trash. Vega howled, seething. Gone was his condescension. His pride had been shattered. Now, for the first time, Vega acknowledged Gobta as a real opponent. The moment he did, his thoughts calmed. He reframed the humiliation as respect. Cuckoo, I see now. You're not just a goblin, are you? You've been hiding your true power. Vega laughed, trying to convince himself. Carrion, watching from the side, had no idea what Vega was talking about. But my eyes are sharp. Vega went on. I see through you. Show your true form. I'll destroy it. He pointed dramatically at Gobta. Gobta, still cheerful, replied, well, if I've been found out, I guess I have no choice, Sue. Okay then, I'll show you my true form, Sue. While Vega braced for transformation, Gobta discreetly gave Carrion instructions through a mental link. Carrion Sun sneak around and blast him again from behind Sue. Carrion had no objections, while Gupta struck a pose and shouted theatrically. Carrion circled around to line up his shot. Star Lord Ranga, it's your turn, Sue. Activate. Star Wolf summon. Right now, Sue. Watch closely. Transform. With perfect timing, Ranga sprung from Gupta's shadow. Finally, Ranga thought, I was starting to get bored. Great battles need the right build-up, Sue. Gupta replied, grinning. Vega stood dumbfounded as Gupta's body glowed with immense magic power, merging with Ranga's. Carrion launched another beast roar at Vega's back, but the attack barely left a mark. Vega's regeneration kicked in immediately. Even the deep wounds healed in seconds. It was clear now, no matter how many times Carrion hit him, it wouldn't be enough. I can't keep this up, Carrion muttered. This technique is draining me fast. Gupta agreed. It's a one-time use kind of move, Sue. Since it draws magic from the area around us, we can't rely on it for long. If Rimuru-sama or Veldora-sama were here with their own vast reserves, maybe it would be different. Still, Carrion began to understand the strategy. Repeated attacks hadn't been meant to defeat Vega. They were a way to gather data. Gobta, serving as both decoy and provocateur, had lured Vega into revealing his abilities. Carrion quietly admired the plan. So this is what Gobta had in mind all along. If we'd gone all out from the start, we'd never have figured Vega out like this. Unfortunately, the deeper truth was grim. Vega didn't have a clear weakness. He drew energy from the land itself, incorporating organic matter like corpses and plant life into his body. The only saving grace was that inorganic material didn't work the same way, but as the battlefield filled with new corpses, Vega could regenerate almost endlessly. Carrion clenched his jaw as he watched Vega's body rapidly heal again. Then a black fog enveloped Gupta. The transformation had begun. Carrion recognized the form immediately. This was Gupta's fused state with Ranga, a power comparable to an awakened demon lord. The data had been gathered. Now, the real battle would begin. Carrion-san, please fall back and charge up your aura, Su. On my signal, fire your biggest shot. I'm almost out of energy. I don't think I can manage another blast. You still have dragon body, right, Su? Use that and pour all your magic into one attack. Carrion hesitated, then nodded. Fine, but I can only hold Dragon Body for 10 minutes. Eh? It was 3 minutes before, Sue. That's amazing. I plan to end this battle in one big bang, so don't worry about what happens after, okay, Sue? Carrion couldn't help but chuckle. Gobta's carefree attitude made it hard to stay anxious. All right, I'm counting on you. Their conversation ended there. Vega, now serious, grinned wickedly. Gwahahaha, you should feel honored. Yours truly will fight at full power. That's my line, Sue. The two clashed. The force of their collision shook the air itself. Shockwaves rippled outward, explosions thundering as raw energy collided. It was a supernatural battle far beyond Carrion's comprehension. Vega's ultimate skill, Evil Dragon Lord Asi Dahaka, gave him total control over organic matter. His body was a mass of microscopic bacteria, capable of mimicking others, regenerating, and evolving by devouring prey. He wasn't just a monster, he was an artificial slime, created by Yuki, designed for maximum adaptability. His visible form was only a fraction of his true body, the rest was embedded in the earth, allowing him to endlessly draw in nutrients and repair himself. Vega could even spawn clones of himself, each with his full powers. The only limitation was mental. He couldn't control multiple bodies with complex orders at once. Knowing this, Vega had focused solely on regeneration rather than wasting effort on more clones. Evil Dragon Lord Azi Dahaka possessed a terrifying suite of abilities: thought acceleration, parallel processing, organic matter control, duplication, mass production, ability absorption, space control, multidimensional barriers, an arsenal of absurd power. But even so, Vega hadn't mastered it. Despite growing quickly, Vega lacked battle experience. He hadn't yet unlocked the full potential of parallel thought or multi-body control. Gobta had seen through it. He let Vega underestimate him, He drew out Vega's attacks while gathering intel. Only once he'd understood Vega's limits did he unleash his trump card. That was Rimurus' teaching. Never show your hand until you understand the enemy. Now, with Garion's help, they had their answer. Vega's regeneration depended on being rooted on the ground. Destroying his surface body wasn't enough, unless they could cut him off from that source. What a pain, Sue, but not unbeatable, Sue. Gobta was confident. The end was near. I'm going in, Sue, at full power. Gobta launched himself at Vega. Vega felt it, their speed, their strength. Gobta had surpassed him, but Vega's healing gave him hope. If he could absorb Gobta's abilities, his power would surge again. He laughed. Gwahahaha, you're strong. I like that. Truly, yours truly acknowledges you. Gobta ignored the praise. Ranga-san, it's time. Be ready, Su. Kukuku. As you wish. This was the final act. I'm sorry, Vega-san, but this is my win, Su. Ha, yours truly is still. Those your last words, Su? Also, one last correction. I'm a hobgoblin. Got it, Su? What? They clashed one last time. Vega's bacterial attacks tried to consume Gobta, but Ranga's wind barrier shredded them instantly. Then came the storm. Gobta and Vega shot into the sky, carried by a violent wind. All the corpses and plant life below were lifted up and into a great sphere of black air and lightning. Ranga's ultimate power at work. This can't be. My ability. Ah, did I hit the mark, Sue? Gupta grinned. The sphere infused with wind and lightning shredded Vega's body over and over. Guardian son, are you ready, Sue? Yeah, let's do this. Dragon body. I've gathered him into that ball. Just blast it, Sue. Karyan smiled. Gobta, I'm glad we're on the same side. He charged all his magic into his lance. He thought of Milim, her overwhelming power, her destructive force, and prepared to end it. End of chapter 198. Chapter 199, Rimoro's Disappearance 1. After leaving Diablo and the others behind, I raced through the sky toward Milim's location. She was already deep in battle, furious attacks raining down on the silver-haired angel before her. Each of Milim's powerful strikes was being effortlessly blocked by a shimmering barrier, the ability known as Castle Guard. Strange, I remembered Rudra using that skill, but I didn't recall it being this powerful. Certainly not to the point of reflecting Milim's blows. It's possible that Castle Guard was originally designed as a commander-type skill. Shell explained. Its original wielder had no need for direct combat, so offensive defenses weren't a priority. However, this current version may have been altered, adapted to fit the needs of its new user. Think of it as a more flexible evolution of the original. Huh. So you're saying it's a skill similar to yours? I can say for certain, but the possibility that I evolved into a form like mine can't be ruled out. Fumu, that would explain a lot. If Castleguard really has evolved, then the silver-haired angel is likely the physical embodiment or avatar of Justice King Michael's ego. That could also explain why Rudra lost control. If Michael intervened directly, everything would start making sense. Still, the real question is, how powerful is she? If her processing and decision-making abilities are on par with Shell's, this could be bad, very bad. So what do you think? Is she on your level? Humph, as if. Whoa, was that straight up denial from Shell Sensei? And that tone, so smug. Where did she learn to act like a big shot? Honestly, it was kind of reassuring. That aura of superiority. It was like she was saying, don't lump me in with that amateur. So, do you know how to neutralize Castle Guard? I asked, not really expecting much. Of course, I've already devised a plan. She said it so casually, like it was obvious. Sometimes I wonder if I'm even needed anymore. Still, this is where I need to protect my pride and show some dignity. Wow, I always believed in you. I knew you'd solve the Castle Guard problem easily. Whether or not I truly believed that, it didn't matter. The important thing was, we had a counter. If Velda gave this power to his subordinates, we'd have to deal with it eventually anyway. Now that we had a solution, there was no reason to delay. It was time to put the silver-haired angel, Lucia, out of commission. With full confidence in Shriel, I landed right in front of her. Despite being in the middle of Milim's onslaught, she calmly turned her gaze toward me. So the infamous demon lord Rimuru has arrived, she said coolly. I've been informed of your existence. The fool who dares oppose Veldasama, a pest who dares interfere. Well, I'll take that as a compliment, I replied. Now tell me, what exactly are you? An angel? Or the ego of Justice King Michael? I didn't expect a real answer. I only asked out of formality. Maybe I'd get a useful reaction. Perhaps a proper introduction is in order. She replied with a smile, her expression eerily serene. I am Lucia, the name bestowed upon me by Veldasama. As you've guessed, I was born from the ultimate skill, Justice King Michael. You may call me Manas. You could say I am a higher being. So she really was a Manas. Honestly, I was a bit shocked. I didn't think there could be others like Shell. This is unpleasant, so this is what displeasure feels like. Shell's voice was sharp, clearly annoyed. Was she jealous? Maybe she didn't like the idea of another being on her level. But at the same time, she's growing. She's really learning how to understand emotions. That in itself is amazing. Still, I had to ask, wait, are you mad because she looked down on me? Of course. How dare that lowly maness disrespect master? What? That's what she's upset about? I almost retorted out loud. Also, calling her a lowly maness, aren't you one too? Lucia clearly wasn't happy anymore. She had moved past irritation and was now downright furious. I looked her in the eye and asked, so what exactly are you trying to do here, Lucia? Are you trying to enrage Milim and take control of her? She let out a mocking laugh. Foo foo foo. You at least have enough wits to figure that out. Yes, that's exactly the plan. Milim-sama is Lord Velda's daughter. After this world is destroyed with her help, she's destined to become the mother of the new world. And for that role, her memories, especially those tainted by this world, are unnecessary. They must be erased. You, Rimuru, are the most filthy among them. You must be cleansed. That escalated quickly, but I'll give you a credit. You did catch on. Sadly, it's too late now. Milim-sama destroyed the demon lord Rimuru, Regalia Dominion. Right on cue, Milim stopped mid-punch and froze in place, as if she had suddenly fallen under Lucia's control. But anyone who knows Milim could tell this was an act. Wait, she's faking it, right? Correct. Based on the analysis, Milim Nava has full control of her emotions. Shell confirmed it. Even though she was trying hard to act convincingly, it was easy to spot the signs. She even took off the dragon knuckles I gave her, probably to keep them from breaking. Most importantly, if she were really dominated, she would have attacked me already without hesitation. Nice try, Milim. You're just not cut out for acting. Still, I decided to play along with her plan. Gah, Milim's been taken over. That was way too exaggerated, Master. Shell wasn't impressed. Anyway, I had already anticipated an opponent like Lucia, someone who inherited Justice King Michael's powers and made preparations in advance. I taught all the demon lords, including Milim, the mind power technique, which Guy helped us develop. It protects against domination abilities like King's rule, as long as the person isn't under overwhelming pressure. With that, we were safe from forced control. So now, I just needed to see what Milim was planning and take care of Lucia. I landed and faced off against Milim, and just like that we started clashing swords. Her attacks were intense as always, and to an outsider it would have looked like we were seriously fighting. But I could tell she wasn't going all out, and neither was I. We traded blows and sparks flew. It was an impressive sight. But underneath the chaos, we were having a secret conversation using secret telepathy. Rimuru, can you hear me? Yeah, I got you. So how long are we going to keep pretending to fight? Wahaha, I knew you noticed. But seriously, when you said Ge, Milim's been taken over, I thought for a second you actually believed it. Oof, my bad. That was obviously part of the act. Haha, yeah, I figured. Anyway, I need a favor. Lucia's goons beat up Frey and her team. I don't think they're badly hurt, but could you go check on them? Got it. I contacted Diablo right away. Diablo, can you hear me? Yes, Rimuro-sama. Check on Frey and the others before backing me up. Understood. I'll have Tess to handle it. The other angels have already been dealt with. Wait, already? Apparently, those four were defeated faster than I expected. Despite being as strong as awakened demon lords, I guess my standards for power have changed. Anyway, with Testa confirming Frey's group was okay, I continued fighting Milim while dodging occasional spells from Lucia. She was smart. She only attacked during the brief windows when her castle guard wasn't active. Think I can strike during those pauses? Unfortunately, no. Her defense auto-activates with top priority, so your window is basically zero. That figures. Lucia was far more skilled with the ability than Rudra ever was. She really was a troublesome opponent. That angel is starting to get on my nerves, but I wonder if I can win her trust somehow. What? Why would you want her trust? She's just annoying. We're ignoring her because her attacks aren't landing. She called Velda, my father, and claimed he's Velda Nava, the Stellar Dragon King. I figured she needs to be taught a lesson. So that was Milim's plan. Not to beat Lucia, but to get close enough to find out where Velda was hiding. After all, it wouldn't matter if we won all our battles. If Velda escaped, we'd still lose in the end. Smart. I had underestimated her. There's just one problem. We don't know how powerful Velda truly is. If you go alone, Millie, your safety isn't guaranteed. Don't worry, I've been preparing for this moment. I'll be a spy. She got this idea from a movie she saw once. It was part of an experiment to project films from my old memories. She loved it a bit, too much, but oddly enough, her plan was pretty solid. Still, first things first, we needed to deal with Lucia. Shell, that's enough. I wanted to take her down now. Understood. I started gathering turn null energy from my ultimate skill Void God Azathoth. You've been annoying long enough, Lucia. Time to show you who's boss. Milim caught on and faked being knocked away by my katana, giving me a clear shot. I pointed my hand at Lucia and channeled the ultra-compressed energy. She still smirked. Foo foo foo, my castle guard is invincible. Your attacks are useless. We'll see about that. I activated the spell, Eternal Pain. Lucia's expression finally changed when she saw the energy I was using. My attack hit. Of course, it didn't damage her. That wasn't the point. Castle Guard blocks all forms of direct damage. Nukes, poison, magic, even star-level destruction. But that's also its weakness. It works so well that it limits the user's movement. Lucia could barely move while Castle Guard was active. She couldn't fly freely or fight while defending. So I set a trap. A barrier that continuously triggered attacks. Every time Castle Guard blocked an attack, the barrier recharged and strengthened. I also locked the surrounding space using my space-time control ability. In other words, Lucia was stuck. To break out, she'd have to deactivate Castle Guard, and the moment she did, she'd be hit with all that pent-up energy. It was a perfect trap. Phew, you can stay trapped in there forever. Enjoy the solitude. I struck a dramatic pose. Lucia screamed something, but her voice didn't reach me through the barrier, so I just kept posing. The barrier would keep growing stronger with each attempt she made to escape. Magnificent, especially that pose at the end. It was perfect. Wait, really? That's what you're praising? Even Diablo chimed in. Kufufufufu, as expected of Rimuru-sama. Okay, this is weird. I wanted praise for the spell, not the pose. Still, I succeeded in sealing away Lucia. After that, Diablo joined Milim and me, and we continued fighting, while actually discussing our next move in secret. Then I got a message from Carrera. Gobta defeated Vega. Yes, Gobta. As expected of Gupta, I gave him the unique skill Genius False Wise Man, and he exceeded all predictions. Wait, when did she do that? Still, I didn't expect Gupta to win that easily. Even with the skill, it must have been a tough fight, but knowing him, he made it look effortless. Anyway, we finalized our plan. First step, I would die. Rimuru, your turn to disappear. Kufufufu, this will shake things up quite a bit. Shell agreed but insisted we not tell anyone except our group. This is the perfect chance to root out any hidden enemies or traitors. If news of my death causes unrest, it might expose potential threats from human nations or even among our own forces. Won't this just cause chaos? Kufufufu, don't worry. The joy when they find out you're alive will outweigh the sadness. And with that, everyone except me happily approved the plan. Thus began the next major event of the Great War, with my death kicking off a wave of world-shaking consequences. End of chapter 199. Chapter 200. Each of their reactions. As soon as we finalized the plan, Milim declared that she'd use her strongest magic, Dragon Nova. She said she'd let me escape under the cover of this extremely destructive attack, fittingly called a mass extinction spell. Apparently, she had always wanted to show it to me, and Shell was curious too, so I agreed. Big mistake. Seriously, I thought I was going to die. I wish she at least explained what Dragonova actually was before casting it. She didn't call it her strongest spell for nothing. I only survived because I stopped time and teleported away instantly. Diablo, on the other hand, wasn't so lucky. He took the blast head on and lost half his body, and now he's lying there acting like he's on death's doorstep. Honestly, what do I even do with him? Anyway, I've learned my lesson. Never underestimate Milim again. She's way more dangerous than she lets on. But it worked out. Milim gained Lucia's trust. She launched Dragon Nova, killed the fake me, and brought the body back to Lucia. Then, to make the act more convincing, I deactivated the barrier spell, Eternal Pain, that had been trapping Lucia. This helped sell the illusion that I was truly dead. With that, Milim successfully earned Lucia's trust and infiltrated the enemy's base. Meanwhile, I quietly slipped into hiding using teleportation to vanish into the darkness and wait for Milim's next move. Now that things have calmed down, I finally have time to reflect. The first thing on my mind, Shell's recent changes. Sure, the spell Eternal Pain was impressive, but more than that, I sensed a major change in Shell's capabilities. What really caught my attention, though, was Gobta, specifically how he blew past all of Shell's predicted growth limits. Hey, don't you think Gobta's growth has been weird? Like abnormally fast? And weren't your calculations way off? I couldn't shake that thought. Back when I still called her Raphael Sensei, her predictions were almost always right. I mean, as far as I remember, the only miscalculation she ever made was when she couldn't fully understand Vildora's attack. So how did she get Gobta so wrong? I asked Shell directly. While calculating, deeper data was detected. As a result, the prediction deviated greatly. Basically, Gobta grew so fast and so unexpectedly that it threw off even Shell's analysis. But could the real reason be something else? A thought suddenly hit me. Could this be because of emotions? It's like taking a test. The more you second guess your answers, the more you doubt yourself. And usually, your first instinct is right. So maybe what Shell felt was anxiety. Humans make mistakes because we get anxious. Machines don't. They only mess up if there's a bug in the code or if they're broken. Shell wasn't supposed to make mistakes, but she chose to evolve and gain emotions. She went from a perfect being to something more human. Is that a regression? No, it's evolution. Shell wanted emotions. She chose to leave perfection behind to grow. It's like a baby in the womb. Inside it feels safe and perfect, but the moment it's born into the outside world, that safety disappears and it cries. Shell is going through the same thing. She left her perfect shell and is now trying to grow into something more complex. But I'm relieved because the vessel that holds her is me. My soul is her container. She was born inside me, and that bond stabilizes us both. Her emotions are like waves that fill the cracks in my heart, and in doing so, they help make me whole. She's still adjusting. It will take time for her to get used to these new feelings. But just like she supports me, I'll support her too. I get it now. You're feeling anxious because you care. But don't worry, just believe in yourself. Even with all this change, you're still analyzing and thinking things through. You're not alone. We're in this together. Master. Shell didn't say anything for a moment, but I could feel her emotions settle down, coming like still water. Yes, my lord. Everything will follow your heart's desire. She understood, even as she hides in the shadows for now, she's quietly figuring out her own purpose, her reason for existing. Meanwhile, far above, Veldrin soared through the sky with unmatched speed. Her body felt light, her strength sharper than ever before, and yet her mind was in chaos. Just what is that person? She was one of the strongest beings in existence, a true dragon, but even she couldn't land a scratch on him. He wasn't just strong, he had a soul that harmonized with the power of dragons, a body that stood equal to the very apex of this world. And not only did he face a true dragon, he absorbed two of them. Could such a monster even exist? No, he does. She saw it with her own eyes. She couldn't deny it. But what made it even more unbelievable was the origin of this being. He was born by sheer accident from magic hills that leaked out of Eldora. That kind of coincidence. It's insane. Even now, looking at herself, Velvin felt different. Stronger, her body more refined, her energy more stable. Something had changed. Something big. In short, the slime who summoned her, Rimuru, possesses a vessel that can hold more energy than even she, a true dragon, contains. That kind of being, it's hard to believe there should only be one existence like that. Velgrin's thoughts continued to spiral as she flew at incredible speed. Circling the continent, she moved faster than the speed of sound, so fast that her body burned through the air, radiating extreme heat. Without meaning to, she tore through a group of angels in the sky, scattering them like dust. Her connection, her soul corridor to Rimuru has been shut. This could only mean something had happened to the one she was banded with. Still, Velvind wasn't too concerned. Humph, there's no way someone like him would die so easily. He must be planning something. She let the thought drift away. There was no point worrying about it, that's what she told herself. But even as she tried to push it aside, the doubt lingered deep inside her. She was caught in a fog of uncertainty. Back in Tempest, a heavy report sent a chill through the High Command. It was the first day of the Great War. As night fell, the Angels' attacks finally stopped. The monsters had been bracing for an ongoing battle, but by sundown, the Angels had pulled back. This was expected. Light element angels had an advantage only during the day. Night weakened them. They also required energy, so their stamina dropped as evening approached. For the Tempest forces, this pause was a blessing. They took the opportunity to rest and eat, but their brief peace was shattered. Inside the Labyrinth's command room, the leaders of Tempest, including the Guardian Lords, gathered for an emergency meeting. Is it true that Rimuru-sama has disappeared? Benimaru asked in a grim voice. Yes, it's true. He was directly hit by Milim Sama's Dragon Nova. Testarossa replied quietly. Silence fell over the room. Testarossa then explained everything she knew. Then where is Diablo? What happened to him? Benimaru asked, his voice tight with frustration. It was a fair question. Diablo was nowhere to be seen. The truth was, Diablo was the only one who knew Rimuru was still alive. Because of that, he couldn't explain why he had failed to protect his master without revealing the truth. And if the workers knew Diablo had survived while Rimuru had died, they might lash out at him in anger. So Diablo made a choice. He showed up injured, missing half of his body, to Testarossa and the others. Then he quickly left, leaving behind a message. He was going to observe Milin. He claimed that in his condition, he wouldn't be of much use in combat and that surveillance would be a better use of his abilities. Testarossa and the others accepted his explanation. He looked genuinely weakened, and the logic seemed sound. Well, Testarossa did suspect something, but she wasn't certain enough to speak up. Spreading baseless doubts would only stir confusion. So she relayed his message to the others. Diablo is working on an infiltration mission, she told them. He deeply regrets failing to protect Rimuru-sama, but since he received a direct order, he can't even take his own life. His new task is to free Milim-sama from their control. Even though Testarossa herself wasn't fully convinced, she kept her personal feelings out of it. The room fell silent again. Gerudo and Gabil, despite being exhausted from battle, looked solemn and serious. Kumara was pale, trembling. Benimaru clenched his fist tightly, trying to hold back his anger. Ramirez stared at the floor, eyes filled with tears. Thankfully, Sean, with her famously short temper, wasn't in the room. That would have only made things worse. Then someone broke the silence. If I had been there, this wouldn't have happened. It was Zoe, the ever calm and composed Shadow Master, but now his fury boiled over. In a rare outburst, he slammed his fist through a desk. Testarossa silently agreed with him. She felt the same powerlessness, the same guilt, but just then Zijan, who had remained quiet, with his arms crossed, stood up. You fools, he said firmly. Why are you losing yourselves to panic? Rimuru-sama isn't dead. That's impossible. He looked at Testarossa directly. Do you really think Diablo's strength would fall so sharply just because he lost half his body? Do you really think a man like him would walk away without avenging his master? Think, all of you. Doesn't it seem obvious he's hiding something? Zijin's voice cut through the gloom like a blade. Use your heads. Feel it. We are still receiving Rimuru-sama's divine protection. The connection may seem disrupted, but it's not gone. He's testing us. Rimuru-sama is watching, and we've become too dependent on him. If you're the kind of person who can't act unless Rimuru-sama is right there holding your hand, then you might as well give up now. Right, Binimaru-dono? Zijun waited. Testarossa smiled faintly. She understood what he was doing, and she wasn't the only one. One by one, the others began to nod. That's right, Sue. Rimuru-sama must have a reason for this, said Gobuichi, eyes brightening. We've relied on Rimuru-sama too much, Gerudo admitted. It's time we stood on our own. I got scared just because he wasn't here. What would Rimuru-sama say if he saw me like that? Kabil said, ashamed. I knew he was okay. I never doubted him, Ramirez insisted, though her earlier tears said otherwise. Yes, Rimuru-sama would never lose, Kumara added, her confidence returning. The room came back to life. Benimaru looked around and slowly nodded. Zijun was right. They'd all gotten too comfortable relying on Rimuru, and that included him. He had failed as Rimuru's right hand to lead the others properly in their master's absence. Thank you, Zijun. Benimaru said. You're absolutely right. Rimuru-sama isn't gone, but even if he were, we must fight on. Let's conquer this world and present it to him when he returns. We're not children who need him to hold our hands forever. Everyone cheered in agreement. Sue, now calm, gave a nod of gratitude to Zijun. I lost control. That's not acceptable for someone like me. Thank you, Zijun. You brought me back. Zijun simply replied, Don't worry about it. I'll return to my post. Benimaru dono, leave the labyrinth's defense to me. You can focus on the offensive. I swear I'll protect Ramiri-sama and everyone inside the labyrinth until the end. Benimaru nodded, confident in Zijun's strength. They had the strongest guardian watching their backs. There was nothing to fear. With renewed determination, the leaders of Tempest rose to action. The despair they had felt only moments ago was gone, replaced by courage, resolve, and unity. They were ready, and for the first time, they would fight, not just as Rimuru's followers, but as warriors ready to stand beside him. The great demon lord had always protected them. Now it was their turn to protect his dream. End of chapter 200.